The City Council for the City of Rollingwood will come to order Thursday, August 7th, 2025 at, what time is it? 5:34. And we will begin with roll call.
Brooke Brown.
Alec Robinson.
Kevin Glasheen.
Phil McDuffie.
Sarah Hudson's here.
And Gavin Massengill being a quorum present, we will move on to public comment on items not on the agenda. I think we do have someone here wishing to give public comment.
So apologies for having to come and do this. It's a little bit embarrassing, honestly, I have to bring this topic up, but I wanted to bring it up because it happened to me yesterday.
If you would just identify yourself for the record.
Barry Del Cambry for Westgate Circle, Rollingwood, Texas, obviously. So first, I want to thank y'all. I know it's a thankless job, and especially tonight when you're doing budget work. I just wanted to bring this up. It's more so regarding the parking and permitting issue in the city of Rollingwood. So last night, my wife and I and my two young kids, we went to visit a friend on Vale. If you don't know this, there are two essentially zones of parking in Rollingwood. There's a blue and a red. I was unaware of that. So we parked. We are blue. We live on, I guess, the other side of town, not across the tracks. So we came over, we parked, and we were there. We were visiting some friends, and then we also went over to Zilker. And I thought it would be safer to park in the city of Rollingwood versus kind of down the little park area or somewhere else in Traverse. And so I relied on what I thought was the safety and security of the city that we all live in and we all pay the same taxes for. However, I parked on a construction. We made sure not to block anyone. There was no other cars on the street. We parked on that construction site, they're building right there on the corner. At Vale, we came back. Looks like at about 8:15, we got a ticket for parking during an event parking. The sign itself just says if you have a parking permit pass from City of Rollingwood, and you basically are free to kind of move about. I found it kind of strange that I am constricted during being a citizen to actually not be able to park within the city limits, only in my little confined apartheid space, I guess. So that to me is something that I would like. I don't know if y'all can address that at some point, or maybe it's something worth discussing. Maybe not. Maybe I'm the only person this has ever happened to. But I felt it was kind of weird to be, again, a citizen of the city, of our square mile, essentially, and not be able to park freely, despite the fact this wasn't even in the city of Rollingwood. It was an event actually occurring outside of the city that was in limiting my ability to traverse and move around in the city that I live in. So that is really the main reason I'm here. I will appeal the ticket. Now, whether or not that goes anywhere, it probably won't. I'll probably have to pay an astronomical fine for living in the city, and so that is fantastic. I feel like it's misguided. I lived for a year and a half a block from here. I had my vehicle broken into once. I had a handgun stolen out of that vehicle. I also had a set of 4 Goodyear tires stolen from my house at a value of about $1,500, while also living right there. And in the meantime, we're policing with little to no impact to anyone where I was parked, a traffic issue that to me is non-existent, at least in my opinion, while actual severe crime and other things that are property value and quite frankly dangerous go either unchecked or unpatrolled, or maybe we don't have the manpower, whatever the reason, but we sure have enough manpower to ticket me, the one truck that was on that road. And so I would like to understand what happens, or why the city police department has the ability to basically punish its own residents versus not looking out for the safety and the security of us all. I think to me that's more important. It's like, protect and serve, not protect and ticket a citizen that's just parked on the side of the road. Again, not blocking traffic in the parking lane with a pass. I feel like it's a bit, we're a small town and next to a big city. It seems a bit egregious, unnecessary, and like futile, honestly. Like I didn't really understand with that. So that was it. I hope y'all at some point, I know we have bigger things to tackle, but bring that up or at least address it in some way that there is at least some common sense approach applied to it versus segregating a whole section of the city off during a time when, quite honestly, I know there's a blue and a red zone, but there's nothing saying where that blue and red zone exists outside of, I guess, if you get a pamphlet in the mail. We've moved 3 times in the past year, so quite frankly, it probably got lost in the mail. That's my problem, I guess, not y'all's, but there's no signifying action of where you can and can't go other than, I guess, a mailer. So that's it. Again, I know there's bigger things to run into, but I just wanted to bring that up to y'all's attention, and maybe y'all knew about it, but I did not, obviously.
Cool. Thank you for your comment. It's not posted, so we can't discuss with you, but I'll just say that you were not the only person this has ever happened to. Pursue your appeal, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. We have a pretty standard way to handle it. So
Yeah, I will be appealing. Well, it's under my wife's name actually, but I was driving, so we will appeal it. Evidently, the clerk is not here for Thursday and Friday, so I'll start that process on Monday. But thank you all, and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Barry.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we will move off of public comment onto the consent agenda. Happy to take a motion.
Move approval of the consent agenda?
You have a motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Brown, a second by Mr. McDuffie. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say no. Being 5 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Thank you, council. Moving on to the regular agenda. Discussion and possible, agenda item number 4, discussion and possible action to set a public hearing on the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget for September 3rd, 2025. I'm happy to take a motion.
Move approval to set a public hearing on September 3rd, 2025 for possible action on the fiscal year 2025-26 budget.
You have a motion by Ms. Brown. Is there a second?
Second.
You have a motion by Ms. Brown, a second by Mr. McDuffie. Actually, a slight discussion on my part, council. This is not necessarily related to this, but it's as close to this agenda item as I can. I wanted to let council know that I am going to have to move my niece, technically not my niece, but pretty darn close to my niece, to Tucson, Arizona to move into her college dorm for our meeting on August 20th. So I will not be here for the work session. Again, not for this agenda item, but I wanted to put that on your radar and let you know that staff will be reaching out to you. I'd like to move that, if at all possible, the budget work session to the 25th or 27th, if that were, anyway, not for this agenda item. I'm just putting it on your radar. Staff will be in touch with you if you would, and I apologize, but if you'll work with me as we get that done. So,
No problem.
yes, sir.
Some discussion on this topic.
Yeah.
On the
On the actual agenda item?
Well, no, I'm glad you did
Okay.
that because I had
Similar, yeah.
Similar.
But anyway,
This is the time to talk about
the
dates.
third,
so.
how long does that meeting last usually?
It usually doesn't last. Let's see, hold on. So currently, what we have on the actions to be taken at that meeting would be hold a public hearing on the proposed budget. That usually doesn't. We just open it up for public comment. We typically have not had very much public comment at that time. We will hold the public hearing on the tax rate. So again, open it to the public, allow the public to opine on the tax rate. Typically, that has not been very controversial in the past. Then we will vote to postpone the final vote on the ad valorem tax rate to Wednesday, September 17th. So it's literally just the public hearing on the rate, on the budget, allows the public to say their piece on both the expenditure side and the rate piece of that equation, and then we'll postpone the actual activity. So it could go very quickly.
So
Has
yeah,
typically gone quickly in the past.
that's fine. Is it gonna be like another 5:30 kind of thing usually?
Probably.
Because I just like every Wednesday from now on, like, and I
Tough.
might have to miss one council meeting in the future, but I don't like 6:30s on Wednesday every night for the next few months is not good for me.
Is not good. Is
Yeah.
earlier better for you?
Yeah, earlier is yeah.
Okay. It shouldn't last long, and we will have to have a supermajority to gavel in. I can get back to you on. I think it's well, we'll talk, but
Okay.
I don't think it would last more than an hour. Is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
bottom line. So.
Alright.
Okay. All right. With that, you have a motion and a second on agenda item number 4. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, opposed say no. Being 5 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Thank you, council. Moving on to agenda item number 5, discussion and possible action to set a public hearing on the proposed ad valorem tax rate for September 3rd, 2025. Do I have a motion?
I move we set a public hearing on the proposed ad valorem tax rate for September 23rd, 2025.
September 3rd.
That's what it says.
Oh, I thought you said September 23rd. But you said
I heard
September 3rd.
September 3rd. Okay.
No, I didn't hear that.
You have a motion to, for public hearing for the ad valorem tax rate on September 3rd. Is there a second?
Second.
You have a motion by Ms. Brown, a second by Mr. McDuffie. Further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say no. Being 5 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Thank you, council. Moving on to agenda item number 6, discussion and possible action to set a proposed ad valorem tax rate. You have the documentation in front of you, council. Again, just a quick reminder that we are setting the proposed tax rate. This will be the tax rate that we have a public hearing on. It has been this council's historic precedent to set the rate at the voter approval rate, which is the higher rate. I'll remind council, you can always, at a future date and at when this rate is ultimately adopted, you can always go down, but you can never go up. So it's been our precedent typically to go ahead and post for the voter approval rate. Again, I know Sarah's not here, but I'll do this for you, Sarah. The voter approval rate is not well named. This is actually any rate higher than the voter approval rate opens that rate up to be approved by the voters. This rate is the last rate that you could adopt to not open up that process. So, although it's called a voter approval rate, it actually doesn't go to the voters. It is the highest rate that you could set without going to the voters. So it's typically been our practice to adopt this rate. Again, you can always go down from this rate at a future meeting and upon final adoption, but you can't go up. And just so we can kind of get straight on the numbers, the actual dollar difference between the actual no new revenue rate of 0.198060 and the voter approval rate at 0.202039 is only $66,000. There's a $66,000 difference between your no new revenue rate and your voter approval rate. So it is staff's recommendation and my recommendation for you to adopt for posting the voter approval rate at 0.202039. And with that, I'm happy to take a motion, and we can discuss it further if you'd like.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the proposed ad valorem tax rate at the 2025 voter approval rate of 0.202039.
You have a motion by Ms. Brown. Is there a second?
Second.
You have a motion by Ms. Brown, second by Mr. Glasheen. Is there further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say no. Being 5 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Thank you, council. And we will get all of this lined up for you for our next budget workshop. And we will be in touch on when that workshop will be moved to. Anything else?
Move to adjourn.
With that, you have a motion to adjourn by Mr. McDuffie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. 5 ayes, no nays. You are adjourned. Thank you.